An NFL insider has revealed multiple different New York Jets targets, and this is absolutely shocking as we are seeing another name that's been popping up multiple times reappear as a real option now, while also Darren Mougey is getting teased with a potential reunion with a beloved former New York Jet that is not really cutting it with his current team, and we're going to break all of that down and much more. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And guys, if you're part of that 74% that's not subscribe to Jets Digest, this is the place to be for all Jets content. As I've said every single time I do one of these over the offseason, if a move happens, me and Matt or one of us will make a video on it. You guys do not want to miss out. We're having so much fun on this channel, so much more fun than any other Jets channel. Yeah, I said it, but in seriousness, let's talk about the New York Jets because that's what's fun. Look, the New York Jets, they have multiple different targets right now that have come out for grabs. One of them is this guy right here. Another one of them is this guy right here, and I'm so excited, my words are getting jumbled. But Darren Mougey, well, he's got some trade targets on his hands, and they are both major positions of need for the New York Jets, being two different positions, one offense, one defense. And I have said enough to where now, let's just jump into it and take a look at it. As NFL insider Jordan Shultz revealed that the Eagles have been open to trade talks involving tight end Dallas Goedert and defensive end Bryce Huff. Goedert is in the final year of his deal, while Huff, one of last year's big free agent signings, has seen limited playing time due to Philly's deep rotation of edge rushers. Now, this is where it's important to mention. The New York Jets cannot trade for Bryce Huff. They are not legally allowed to because of the fact that Bryce Huff was on the Jets just a year ago. It's not allowed via the CBA. So the Jets would have to wait until the Eagles would evidently cut Bryce Huff from the team, and then the Jets would be able to sign Bryce Huff. That's legal, but they cannot trade for him. Just so they get that little tidbit out of the way. But jumping back into things, look, the Eagles, according to Josina Anderson, I'm trying to speak fast, the Eagles are holding out hope for at least a fourth-round pick in a potential trade for Dallas Goedert, which does feel like fair value to me. Like a fourth, a fifth, something conditional with a fourth probably makes sense. And that fourth rounder could come in a future draft like 2026 or 2027, as the Eagles have decided they want to move on from the longtime guy in Dallas Goedert, who's been a very successful tight end with his time in Philadelphia. Now, looking at Goedert's numbers, for his career, he's played 93 games, had 39, or his average value is of a 39, had 349 receptions last year for his career, and then for over 4,000 yards for that career. Look, I'm really struggling right now, but it's all right. We're going to push right through, guys. Look, 42 receptions, 496 yards, 11.8 yards per reception, 2 touchdowns. Not the same year that we've seen Dallas Goedert have in the past. This was not one of his best seasons in the NFL, meaning his value is a bit lower, but the man now is a Super Bowl champion. He's been an important player for the Philadelphia Eagles for a little bit. Now he's a very talented tight end, widely regarded as one of the best tight ends in football, which he absolutely is, and he deserves that credit to be put in some of those top conversations. Now, no, he's not Travis Kelce. He's not Brock Bowers. He's not of that stratosphere, but he is close. He's not Trey McBride, but there is a lot of talented tight ends out there, and the New York Jets have not signed any of them or traded for any of them. They don't have one of them. Look, the New York Jets tight end situation is straight up just strange at the moment. Right now, Jeremy Ruckert looks like the number one tight end, as he's the best guy they have right now. Look, Ruckert, he was teammates with Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson at the Ohio State University, so it is important to note that that is a huge part of things, and the Jets might want to see if Ruckert can break out with Justin Fields on the team. Me and Matt did do a video about that called What They Did Not Tell You About the Justin Fields Trade. If you guys want to go check that video out on the channel, feel free to. It's very fun. But last year, Ruckert had 18 receptions, and for his career, he's at 35. So this is one of his better seasons. He also tallied nearly half his career yards last season. His yards per reception were 5.8, which was down, but he was getting more targets, and that's important. He played all 17 games. He had some good moments for sure with the New York Jets last season. Never scored a touchdown for his career, but if he's the number one tight end option, that'll surely change, especially with an old friend throwing him the ball. But the New York Jets, all that being said, they do need a better tight end option out there. The Jets did make a tight end signing already this offseason as they signed Stone Smart to a contract. Now, again, you want the full breakdown on Stone Smart? Matt and I did do a video on that. You see his face right there. You can find it in the thumbnail. I'll be honest, I don't remember what I titled the video. And sometimes, guys, the titles I write, I'm not going to lie, guys. Usually when I make these videos, no matter what channel it's on, Knicks Digest, Jets Digest, Yankees Digest, it all blends into one at the end of the day. I'm making so many of these. So guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel. So it helps me out. But on the topic of Stone Smart, the man, he played 15 games, 13 yards per reception last year for 208 yards. He's a very athletic guy. He's undersized for a tight end as he's 6'4", which is the shortest you could possibly be for an average tight end. But on top of that, just the 226-pound thing is worrisome because you want your tight end to be at least 20 pounds heavier than that. So not a big person. The blocking is not going to be there for him, but he is going to be a good athlete. Stone Smart's an interesting guy because he did play multiple different positions at his multiple colleges, whether it was Northern Arizona, Riverside Community College, Old Dominion. He played a bunch of different positions that were not tight end. And again, if you guys want to know more about that, make sure to check out the video on Stone Smart because Matt and I did talk about that as well and the implications it would have. I will say one of them was wide receiver. And the important reason to note that is because it means he would be a very good receiving tight end, something that Dallas Goedert also is. But Goedert does both. He's a good blocker. He's a good receiver. He can run with the ball. He's just a talented all-around tight end, and the Jets don't have that, and they could certainly use a guy like Goedert who would bring stability into a New York Jets team that feels unstable right now. Also, more importantly, he gives them a legit receiving option, and the New York Jets need more than just Garrett Wilson right now. Yes, Allen Lazard's still on the team, but they are looking for a trade for him. They allowed him to seek a trade, so things got really, really dicey right there. Now, on top of that, there also is the man of Bryce Huff, who we also need to talk about. Now, Bryce Huff, wrong button. Now, Bryce Huff, well, interesting guy here. As the Eagles, as we know, they're holding out hope for Goedert. But according to Bleacher Report, Bryce Huff, who was signed for 2 more seasons with a $16.75 million remaining guaranteed salary, would be much costlier to release. The Eagles risk taking on just under $20 million in dead cap while saving $12.5 million by cutting him after that June 1st deadline, like what the Jets are doing with Aaron Rodgers, per over the cap. Moving Huff in a post-June 1st trade would meanwhile net the team just over $1 million in cap savings, so it would help for them to do that after June 1st. The Jets are going to be one of those teams that would look for Bryce Huff, but again, since they can't trade for Bryce Huff, that makes things a little bit more interesting. Now, Bryce Huff has had a solid NFL career, mainly with the Jets before signing a big deal with the Philadelphia Eagles after Huff got 10 sacks, led the Jets in sacks, was a phenomenal player for them, truly just a breakout player. The Jets tried him in a few different roles, whether it was linebacker or defensive end, moving him back to this linebacker, edge rusher type position where he really had a phenomenal season. He was great for the Jets, one of the best defensive players on their team, and one of the better defensive players in the NFL, one of the NFL's premier pass rushers, and Huff gave the Jets a lot of great moments, but then signed with the Eagles where the Jets ended up getting Hassan Reddick back, who did nothing for the Jets the same way that Bryce Huff did nothing for the Eagles. But now Huff is going to try to move on. The Eagles have too many edge rushers as it is. They don't need Bryce Huff, and they want to get rid of that money any way they can. So they're hopefully trying to find a team that's going to bite. But I'll tell you one thing right now, no team is biting on Bryce Huff's contract. I'm sorry, but he just had 0 sacks and is making $16.75 million. There is not a stupid enough team to bite on that contract. I'm understanding that Bryce Huff could easily bounce back. I actually believe in Bryce Huff a ton as a player because I've watched him for 4 years on the New York Jets. But truly, no team is dumb enough to take that contract. The Eagles are they're definitely going to have to cut him. They're either going to have to cut him or pay a ton of his salary when they trade him. And then what's the point? Like, what are you really getting back? So very likely so, he'll get cut. And if he gets cut, there's a very high likelihood that he goes back to the team where he saw success. And as Aaron Glenn says, if you want to be a New York Jet, then you will be a New York Jet. And I think that the New York Jets have an excellent golden opportunity to bring Bryce Huff back in a signing while also trading a 4th, maybe a conditional 4th that could turn into a 5th-round pick for Dallas Goedert. I think both those are phenomenal moves for the New York Jets that gives them winners and some more stability at 2 positions that could desperately use more stability. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Guys, subscribe, please, or I'm going to have to go to Matt's house and toss him in a river or something, or whatever I usually say. Guys, have a great day and go Jets.